Thank you. Mahaprasad Nimalayam. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Rakshama. Krishna, 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 Paima. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Paima. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hey. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rakshama. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Paima. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Paima. Krishna 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 Hare Jai Sri Sri Radha Madhava ki Jai Sri Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnu Paraparamahansa Parivrajagacharya Suthara Satri Srimana Vajaranarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai ISKCON Patissa Acharya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Ananta Kota Vaishnavarinda ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Karatha Shivashari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Navadip Simai Podam ki Jai Ganga Mai ki Jai Jamuna Mai ki Jai Bhakti Devi ki Jai Tulsi Maharani ki Jai Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahotsav ki Bhakti Devi ki Jai Tulsi Maharani ki Jai Sri Harinam Sankirtan Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Jai Nitai Go Premanandi Shambhaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glory to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Nitai Go Premanandi. Hari Hari. Sri Krishna Janmashtami Mahotsav ki. So we were asked to speak on Krishna in preparation for the Sri Krishna Janmashtami Tithi. So what a better book than Krishna to hear about Krishna from. So listen carefully because I'm going to ask some questions sometime. We're going to go here and there, so it's not very systematic. Anyway, in the first chapter, the event of Lord Krishna is being described. Once upon a time, the world was overburdened by the unnecessary defense forces of the many kings who were actually demons in the shape, posing themselves as the royal order. At that time, the world became very perturbed, and Mother Earth, she went to see Lord Brahma, the predominating deity of the earth planet, of the universe. When there's problems in the universe and it appears that the predominating deities can go and see. So Mother Earth, she went to see Lord Brahma and she assumed the form of a cow. Very good. First question, very good. And she, along with all the demigods headed by Lord Shiva and others, they all went to see Lord Vishnu, who lives in Shweta-dvipa. And the island is called? The ocean is called? Huh? Milk. Yeah, Kir. Kiratakaye, Vishnu. You know kheer, everybody likes kheer, you know, boiled down milk. So he's laying on an ocean of milk, so Kiradakai, that's his bed. So, arriving at the shore of the milk ocean, Lord Brahma began to pacify Lord Vishnu, who had formerly saved the earth planet and assumed the form of a boar. Very good. You know your Krishna book. In the Vedic mantras, a particular type of mantra is called the Purusha Shukta, yes. Who knows the Purusha Shukta mantra? One or two. Famous mantra. When we do installation of deities, you'll see they will chant that mantra. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sasarapat. It's like the devotees are there, they're calling, Krishna, you please come from the milk ocean, you please come and into the deity, we're going to establish your temple and worship you here. So they chant that Purusha Shukta mantra, just like the demigods, they chant the mantra to invite Kshirodakai Vishnu to come into the material world to solve the problem. So we do the same thing, but it's not to solve our problem. But we invite Lord Krishna to come by chanting that Purusha Shukta mantra. So they approached Lord Brahma, he approached Lord Vishnu, but he couldn't see him directly, but from a distance. Quite a big ocean. But by standing on the shore of the milk ocean, the planet known as Shwetadweep is, that is where the ocean of milk is. And there are also different oceans. Somewhere there's an ocean of ghee, yes. Another ocean? Wine. Honey ocean. Honey ocean. Another one? Salty water. Yeah, we got the worst one here on the Earth, our planet. So they're offering their prayers to Kshirodakai Vishnu, and they didn't hear anything from Vishnu. They were praying, but they never got any response. Then Lord Brahma, he sat down in meditation, and there was a message transmission from Lord Vishnu to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, he then broadcast a message to the demigods. And he was the leader of the party of the demigods, so he related what he heard, it was revealed to him in meditation, he told the demigods. So this is the way of receiving knowledge. The Vedic knowledge begins from this point, as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Vedic knowledge is Tene Brahma Hidayadi Kavayi. Yes, so we have that. Transcendental knowledge was transmitted to Lord Brahma through the heart. Also in the same way, only Brahma could understand the message transmitted by Lord Vishnu, and he broadcast to the demigods. The message was this: the Supreme Personality of Godhead would appear on the earth very soon, along with his very powerful potencies. And as long as he remained on the earth planet to execute his mission of annihilating the demons and establishing the devotees, the demigods would also remain there to assist him. They should immediately take their birth in the family of the Ki dynasty? Shadu dynasty, wherein the Lord would also appear in due course of time. The Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, Krishna, would personally appear as the son of Vasudeva. Before his appearance, all the demigods, along with their wives, should appear in different pious families in the world, just to assist the Lord in executing his mission. The exact word used here, tat priyartam, means the demigods should appear on earth in order to please the Lord. This is the reason for everything, to please the Lord. They're going to serve the Lord in helping his mission of relieving the burden of the earth. In other words, any living entity who lives only to satisfy the Lord is a demigod. The demigods were further informed that Anantadev, the plenary portion of Lord Krishna, who was maintaining the universal planets, by extending his millions of hoods, would also appear on the earth before Lord Krishna's appearance. They also inform that the external potency of Vishnu, Maya, with whom all the conditioned souls are enamored, would also appear by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to execute his purpose. After instructing and pacifying all the demigods as well as Bhumi with sweet words, Lord Brahma, the father of the Prajapatis, or progenitors of the universal population, departed for his own abode, the highest planet, material planet, called Brahmaloka. Once upon a time, Vasudeva, the son of Suryasena, just after marrying Devaki, was going home on his chariot with his newly wedded wife. The father of Devaki, known as Devaka, had contributed a sufficient dowry because he was very affectionate towards his daughter. He had contributed hundreds of chariots, completely decorated with gold ornaments. At that time, Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena, in order to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins of the horse of Vasudev's chariot and was driving according to the custom of Vedic civilization. When the girl is married, the brother takes his sister and brother-in-law to their home. Because the newly married girl may feel too much separation from her father's family, the brother goes with her until she reaches the father-in-law's house. The full dowry contributed by Devaka was as follows. How many elephants he gave? 400. Very good. All decorated with golden garlands. How many horses, decorated horses he gave? 15,000. Bhagavad Prabhu ki jai. And how many chariots? 1,800. Hari Bol. He also arranged for beautiful girls to go with his daughter. How many beautiful girls went with her? 200. Now here, it says, once upon a time, Vasudeva, the son of Suryasena, just after marrying Devaki, was going home on his chariot with his newly wedded wife. The father of Devaki is known as Devaka, and he had contributed a sufficient dowry. At that time, Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena, in order to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins. So here he's saying Devaki is the sister of Kamsa. Yes? Many times it's mentioned. But here it says Devaki is the daughter of Devaka. And Kamsa is the son of Ugrasena. So why are they being called brother and sister here? They have different fathers. Huh? Yes. Ugrasena and Devaka, they are brothers. So naturally their children are considered like brothers and sisters. Not exactly, but like Kaka, village uncle. Chankaji was, Mahaprabhu said, Kaka, my uncle, because they live in the same village, they call each other. They're like the brothers and sisters and uncles. So, let's see. While the bride and bridegroom were passing on the chariot, there were different kinds of musical instruments to indicate the auspicious moment. There were conchos, bugles, drums, kettle drums. Combined together, they were vibrating a nice concert. The procession was passed very pleasingly, and Kamsa, who was driving the chariot, and then suddenly there was a miraculous sound vibrating from the sky, which especially announced to Kamsa. What was the message? Kamsa, you are a fool. You are driving the chariot of your sister and your brother-in-law, but you do not know the 8th child of this sister will kill you. Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena of the Bhoja dynasty, it is said that Kamsa was most demoniac of all the Bhoja dynasty kings. Immediately after hearing the prophecy from the sky, he caught hold of Devaki's hair and was just about to kill her with his sword. Vasudeva was astonished at Kamsa's behavior, and in order to pacify the cruel, shameless brother-in-law, he began to speak with great reason and evidence. My dear brother-in-law, you are a most famous king in Bhoja dynasty. You are the great warrior, valiant king. How is it you're so infuriated that you are prepared to kill a woman who is your own sister at the auspicious time of her marriage? Why would you be so much afraid of death? Death is already born along with your birth. From the day you took birth, you began to die. So it's Krishna's philosophy in Bhagavad Gita, right? For those who have taken birth, death is certain. For those who are dead, birth is certain. Therefore you should not lament these. So Vasudeva is giving very nice instructions to Kamsa. He's very philosophical, knows the Bhagavad Gita very well. Kamsa also, he was a Pandit. So he's talking about how the living entity is transferred, migrating from one body to another. Which example does he use? Yes, like a caterpillar on the tree. He moves, puts his front feet on the branch, and then when it's firmly fixed, he lifts the other back feet up, and then he goes to the next branch. When he's firmly on the next branch, he lifts up the back feet, and like this, the caterpillar. So similarly, the soul goes like this. When the body is ready, it goes to one body. When the body is no longer suitable, the soul enters into another body. Another example also, what was that? Oh, yes, yeah, another example. When a person is walking on the street, you put your right foot on, when you know it's firmly fixed on the ground, then you lift up the left foot. And you put that down. When that's firmly fixed again, you pick up the right foot, and so you walk like this. So similarly, the bodies are changing. So then Krishna, he convinced Vasudeva not to kill him, but he couldn't trust him because you cannot trust demons. But for a time he was convinced. So all the demigods came and began to offer prayers to Lord Krishna in the womb. They assumed different forms like pious Brahmas and Brahmanis. And they came to glorify, and many of them became invisible. And they began to glorify Devaki and Vasudeva, because the Supreme Lord is going to appear as their son. Yogamaya is the principal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Vedas it is stated that the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has multi-potencies, all different potencies are acting externally and internally, and Yogamaya is the chief of all potencies. The Lord ordered the appearance of Yogamaya in the land of Brajabhumi, in Vrindavan, which is always decorated and full of beautiful cows. In Vrindavan, one of the wives of Vasudeva, whose name is Rohini, she was residing in the house of King Nanda. Not only Rohini, but many others of the Jadu dynasty were scattered all over the country due to the fear of the atrocities of Kamsa. Some of them were even living in the caves of mountains. The Lord thus informed Yogamaya, under the imprisonment of Kamsa and Devaki and Vasudeva, at the present moment are my plenary expansions. Okay, so Narad Muni, he wanted to speed things up. He wanted to speed the appearance of Krishna's appearance. So he went and told Kamsa what had actually taken place. Now the demigods were going to come and everything like that. So Kamsa, he was very much afraid. So he arrested Devaki and Vasudeva and put them in prison. And made himself king of the whole area. Made alliance with all the big demons, Baka, Aga. Oh, so many demons. So he became very powerful. Anyway, he informed Yogamaya under the imprisonment of Kamsa and Devaki and Vasudeva. Devaki and Vasudeva. At the present moment, my plenary expansion, known as, is in the womb of Devaki. Who was in the womb of Devaki? Which form? Sheshnag. Same tattva, but Shesh. I shall appear as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. I will appear in the womb of Devaki with all my potencies. And I shall appear as and you, Yogamaya, you shall appear as the daughter of, she shall appear as the daughter of Yogamaya? Jashoda and Devaki, yes. Nanda and Jashoda in Vrindavan. Since you will appear as my contemporary sister, and since you will quickly satisfy desires for sense gratification, people in this world will worship you with all kinds of valuable presentations. Incense, candles, flowers, and offering of sacrifice. People who are after materialistic perfection will worship you under the names of different forms of your expansions, which will be named Durga, Bhadrakali, Vijaya, Vaishnavi, Kumuda, Chandika, Krishna, Madhavi, Kanyaka, Maya, Narayani, Ishani, Sharada, and one more, Ambika. Okay. So Krishna and Yogamaya appeared as brother and sister, the Supreme Powerful and the Supreme Power. Krishna and Yogamaya, they're brother and sister. Krishna is the powerful and Yogamaya is the power. But you cannot separate the two. Otherwise there is no meaning to the powerful. It's like the sun and the sunshine. The sunshine is the energy of the sun. If there's no sunshine, the sun has no meaning. Because by this light of the sun you see the sun, by the heat you can feel the heat. If there's no heat, no light, how will you know the sun? So there's no meaning to it without the energies. So God, there's no meaning to God without His energies. Who's going to appreciate them? No one can appreciate Him. So, although there is no clear distinction between the powerful and the power is also subordinate to the powerful. Those who are materialistic worshippers of the power and those who are transcendentalists are worshippers of the powerful Krishna, the supreme powerful, and Durga is the supreme power within this material world. People in the Vedic culture worship both the powerful and the power. There are many hundreds and thousands of temples of Vishnu and Devi, and sometimes they are worshipped simultaneously. The worshippers of the power, Durga, or the external energy of Krishna, may achieve all kinds of material success very easily, but anyone who wants to be elevated transcendentally must engage in worshipping the powerful in Krishna consciousness. The Lord also declared to Yogamaya, my plenary expansion, Ananta Shesh, is in the womb of Devaki, you were right. On account of being forcibly attracted to the womb of Rohini, he will be known as Shankashan, means attractive. And you will be the source of all spiritual power, or another name? Bala, spiritual strength. By that strength, which one can taste the highest bliss of life, is called Ramana. Therefore, the plenary portion, Ananta, will be known after his appearance either as... Ananta is known as, after his appearance? How did he... Balaram. Huh? Balaram and Shankashan. So, when ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yogamaya succumbed and made to the Lord and then appeared within this material world according to his order. When Yogamaya, the supreme power of the supremely powerful personality of Godhead, transferred Lord Shesh into the womb of Devaki, from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, both Devaki and Rohini were under Yogamaya's spell, which is called Yoga Nidra. People thought that Devaki's seventh pregnancy was a miscarriage. And although Balaram appeared as the son of Devaki, he was transferred to the womb of Rohini to appear as her son. After this arrangement, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who was always ready to protect his unalloyed devotees, entered within the mind of Vasudeva as the Lord of the whole creation, with full inconceivable potencies. It is understood in this connection that Lord Krishna, first of all, situated himself in the unalloyed heart of Vasudeva and was then transferred to the heart of Devaki. He was not put into the womb of Devaki by seminal discharge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable potencies, can appear in any way. It is not necessary for him to appear in the ordinary way by seminal injection within the womb of a woman. When Vasudeva was sustaining the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, he appeared just like this glowing sun, whose shining rays are always unbearable. So, the demigods are coming and offering their prayers to Krishna in the womb. In the Bhagavad Gita, it said that the appearance, birth, and activities are all transcendental. What is the verse, shloka? Janmakamahami chitipam. Anybody who knows the transcendental appearance, activities, and pastimes of the Lord does not have to take birth again in it attains to the supreme abode. Right. We remember something about Krishna. His birth, we are talking about the birth of Krishna, the appearance. If you can remember that, you can go back to Godhead. His birth, his appearance, his activities. How does he appear? What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita, how he appears? I appear by my own transcendental potency. Then Krishna says, if you know how a few slokas later, if you know something about my appearance, you won't have to take birth again. So just previously he said, I appear by my internal potency. I'm not appearing here by Maya or external potency. Prabhupada said, you know that much about Krishna. That Krishna, when he comes here, he appears by his internal potency. That's sufficient to go back to Godhead. Because you're knowing something about the appearance of the Lord. Krishna's promise you go back to Godhead. Just one of those things, or all of those things. The astrological influence of the star known as Rohini. Krishna was born under the Rohini nakshatra. It was very predominant. The star is considered to be very auspicious. It is under the direct supervision of Brahma. According to the astrological conclusion, besides the proper situation of the stars, there are auspicious and inauspicious moments due to different situations of the different planetary systems. At the time of Krishna's birth, the planetary systems were automatically adjusted, so everything became auspicious. There was one astrologer, he calculated this Rohini Nakshatra according to the Tithi, and he came to the conclusion, yes, this is actually factual. When he traced back through astrology 5,000 years ago, that actual Rohini Nakshatra was prominent in the sky at the time of Krishna's birth. So that was 5,000 years ago. So the evidence is even back from 5,000 years ago. Everything became auspicious because of the appearance of the child. When Vasudeva saw that wonderful child born with 4 hands, holding a conch shell, club disc and lotus flower, and decorated with the mark of the Srivatsha, and wearing a jeweled necklace of the Kaustubha gem. Kaustubha, magic gem. It's a nice story about the Kaustubha. Somebody told me it's like jade, stone, the stone called jade, semi-precious stone. It's a jade necklace with a calf, and a calf engraved on it. That's Krishna's Kaustubha. He always wears the Kaustubha. It distinguishes him from the other Vishnu forms, because everybody has 4 arms and they dress like him. So there's some specific characteristics that only Krishna has, like the Srivatsha and the Kaustubha mani. And and Krishna was dressed in what color? Silk? Yellow, golden. And he's appearing dazzling like a bright blackish cloud. He's wearing a helmet bedecked with the... Which kind of stone is on his helmet? The Vaidura mani. Vaidura is a famous stone in his helmet. He had valuable bracelets, earrings, similar other ornaments all over his body, and was beautified by abundance of hair on his head. What's Krishna's name? Who has hair? Keshava. Babies, when they're born, they don't usually have... Did I have hair? I don't know. Mataji's? Sometimes. But Krishna had an abundance of hair. It was actually curly hair. So nobody is born with all that curly hair. What to speak of having a yellow dhoti and all the jewelry and forearms and the Padma, Chakra, Shankha, Gada. No ordinary child is ever born like that. So Krishna, he appeared like that. So he was thinking how I should have been prepared to celebrate this auspicious occasion, but he was in jail, he was in prison, so he couldn't do much. So Vasudeva, who's also known as Anakadundubi, Onekadundubi. Onek, drums, so many drums, dum dum dum. So Onekadundubi. When Vasudeva was convinced that the newborn child was the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, he bowed down with folded hands and began to offer him prayers. After that time, Vasudeva, in a transcendental position, and he became completely free from all fear of Kamsa. The newborn baby was also flashing his effulgence within the room in which he appeared. Then Vasudeva began to offer many very nice prayers to the Lord. One may argue that since the Personality of Godhead, who creates the whole cosmic manifestation simply by his glance, cannot come into the Devaki, one may argue, since the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who creates the whole creation simply by his glance, cannot come within the womb of Devaki, the wife of Vasudeva. To eradicate this argument, Vasudeva said, "My dear Lord, it is not a very wonderful thing that you appeared in the womb of Devaki, because the creation was also made in that same way. You were lying on the causal ocean as Mahavishnu, and by your breathing process, innumerable universes came into existence. Then you entered into each of the universes as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Then again you expand yourself as Kiradakaya Vishnu and entered into the hearts of all living entities, and even into the atoms. Therefore your entrance into the womb of Devaki is understandable in the same way. You appear to have entered, but you are simultaneously all-pervading." Devaki and Vasudeva was offering their prayers. Devaki offering her prayers to Krishna, and Krishna replied, "My dear mother, in the millennium of Swayambhuva Manu, my father Vasudeva was living as one of the Prajapatis. His name at that time was..." The father of Vasudeva, Prajapati. Shutapa, yes. And his name at that time was Sutapa, and you were his wife named Prishni. At that time, when Lord Brahma was desiring to increase the population, he requested you to generate offspring. You controlled your senses and performed severe austerities. By practicing the breathing exercises of yoga system, both you and your husband could tolerate all the influences of material laws, the rainy seasons, the onslaught of wind, the scorching heat of sunshine. You also executed religious principles. In this way you were able to cleanse your heart and control the influence of material laws. In executing your austerities, you used to eat only leaves, only leaves that were falling from the trees. That they were hanging in the trees. upside down. Here is the branch. They had their legs. They were hanging upside down in the tree, on the branches. So the head was down. And the leaves they come along. If they were hungry, they would eat the leaf. How long did their austerities last? 12,000 years of the demigods, yeah? That's it. Big austerity. Worth it. God Krishna as their son. During that time, your mind was always absorbed in me. And when you were executing devotional service, always thinking of me within your heart, I was very much pleased. O sinless mother, your heart is therefore always pure. At that time I also appeared to you in this form, as Vishnu, just to fulfill your desires. And I asked you what you desired. At that time you wished to have me as your son. Although you saw me personally, instead of asking for complete liberation from material bondage, under the influence of my energy, you asked me to become your son. In other words, to appear in the material world, the Lord selected his own mother and father, namely Prishni and Shutapa, respectively. When the Lord comes as a human being, he must have a mother and a father, so he selected Prishni and Shutapa to be his mother and father perpetually. On account of this, neither Prishni nor Shutapa could ask the Lord for liberation. Liberation is not so important as the transcendental loving service to the Lord. The Lord could have awarded Prishni and Shutapa immediate liberation, but he preferred to keep them within the material world for his different appearances, as will be explained in the following verses. On receiving the benediction from the Lord to become his father and mother, Shutapa and Prishni retired from the activities of austerities and lived as a husband and wife in order to beget a child, who was the Supreme Lord himself. They requested, Krishna and Shutapa, we want a son exactly like you. Krishna said, there's no one exactly like me. How you can have a son? There's no one like me. Therefore, I'll have to become your son because I'm the only one like me. So, in due course of time, Krishna became pregnant and gave birth to the child. The Lord spoke to Devaki and Vasudeva. At that time, my name was Brishni Garbha, because he was born from the womb, the Garbha of Brishni. So his name is Brishni Garbha. In the next millennium, you took birth as Aditi and Kashyap. And I became your child of the name Upendra Vamanadev. At that time, my form was just like a dwarf. For this reason, I am known as Vamanadev. I gave you the benediction. I would take your birth as your son 3 times. First time I was known as Prishni Garbha, born of Prishni and Shutapa. The next time I was Upendra, born of Aditi and Kashyapa. And now for the 3rd time I am born as Krishna. From you, Devaki and Vasudeva. I have appeared in this Vishnu form just to convince that I am the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, again taken birth. I could have appeared just like an ordinary child, but in that way you would not have believed that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has taken birth in your womb. My dear father and mother, you have therefore raised me many times as your child with great affection and love. And I am therefore very pleased and obliged to you. I assure you that this time you shall go back home, back to Godhead, on account of your perfection of your mission. I know you are very concerned about me and afraid of Kamsa. Therefore I order you to take me immediately to Gokula and exchange me for the daughter who has just been born to Jashoda. Having thus spoken to his mother and father, the Lord returned himself into an ordinary child in their presence and remained silent. Being ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva prepared to take his son from the delivery room. Exactly at that time, a daughter was born to Nanda and Jasoda in Vrindavan. She was Yogamaya, the internal potency of the Lord. By the influence of the internal potency, Yogamaya, all the residents of Kamsa's palace, especially the doorkeepers, were all overwhelmed with deep sleep. And all the palace doors opened, although they were shackled with iron chains. The night was very dark, and as soon as Vasudeva took Krishna on his lap and went out, he could see everything, just as in the sunlight. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it said that Krishna is just like the sunlight, and wherever the Krishna is, the illusory energy which is compared to darkness cannot remain. When Vasudeva was carrying Krishna, the darkness of night disappeared. All the prison doors were automatically opened. At the same time, there was thundering in the sky and severe rainfall. While Vasudeva was carrying him, Krishna, in the falling rain, the serpent came and put his head over Vasudeva so he would not get wet by the rainfall. Who was the serpent's name? Lord Shesh, yes, Ananta Shesh. Lord Ananta Shesh. Vasu came onto the bank of the Jamuna and saw the water of the Jamuna was roaring with waves and that the whole span was full of foam. Still, in that furious feature, the river gave passage to Vasudeva to cross, just as the great Indian Ocean gave path to Lord Ramachandra when he was bridging over the gulf in this way. Vasudeva crossed the river Jamuna. When he was carrying the water, through the water, Krishna, then suddenly a big wave came and took Krishna out of his hands into the water. It's flood water, it's full of mud, no, you can't see anything, it's night time. Imagine the anxiety of Vasudeva. He's born, the son is born and suddenly, what can you do if you were in the middle of the Ganga in a stormy condition? His baby's gone. You can imagine the anxiety. But then somebody brought Krishna back. Who was that? Huh? Jamuna ji. Jamuna Devi. She said, here is Krishna. I just wanted to play with him for a little while. Here, take him back now. Nanda Maharaj. He went to the palace of Nanda Maharaj, situated in Gokul, where he saw that all the cowherdmen were fast asleep. He took the opportunity to silently enter the house of Jasoda, and without difficulty he exchanged his son for the newborn baby girl there. Then, after entering the house, he silently exchanged the boy for the girl. He put Krishna in there and he took the Yogamaya girl. He returned to the prison of Kamsa and silently put the girl on the lap of Devaki. He again clamped and shackled himself so that Kamsa could not recognize that so many things had happened. Mother Jasoda understood that child had been born to her, but because she was very tired from the labor of childbirth, she fell fast asleep. When she woke, she could not remember whether she had given birth to a male child or a female child. She gave birth to a female child or a male child? Both? Both. Both. Because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, he is always there. So both, they were twin brother and sister. So when Vasudeva brought the Krishna, Krishna brought Vasudev's baby Krishna. Vasudeva, Krishna was brought from Mathura by Vasudeva. And he put Krishna there, but he didn't see the other Krishna. He only saw the little girl. And some commentators say that when he brought Krishna and put him there, then he merged into the other Krishna, because Krishna was already as the twin sister of Yogamaya. He was already there, so he brought but Vasudeva, he didn't see the other Krishna, he only saw the girl. So he put Krishna down, then Krishna merged into the other Krishna. Just like when Krishna leaves Vrindavan, then Vasudeva, he steps out to Mathura, and the original Krishna stays there. Auspicious to be a twin. Krishna was a twin. So here are some of the activities of the appearance and the pastimes of Krishna, how he appears, killing all these demons, one after another. Who was the first demon that Krishna killed? Putana, Mataji. That's good. How did he kill her? How did he kill Putana? She offered him poison on her breast. She sucked the poison and the life out of Putana. Then she fell down and she assumed her real feature of Putana. You know how big she was? 8 or 12? 12 miles. Leave me, child. And all the forests and everything was, for 12 miles, was all destroyed. You know what those forests was? All fruit trees. Mangoes, lychee. So many, all fruit trees. 12-mile orchard was there. You know who that orchard belonged to? Kamsa. Putana destroyed it. Okay, 9 o'clock. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahotsav Titi ki. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shambheda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Nitai Go Premanandi. Hare Bol. Thank you. Hare Krishna.